Hey everyone, welcome to day 16 of a multifaceted Mama Diaries. I am sitting in bed, writing, thinking, reflecting on life, on the day, on what I want to share with you all today. And I've been really contemplating the word revolution recently because maybe like a year or so ago, it came up for me. Someone I was speaking with had mentioned that I had like a revolutionary spirit. And I was talking about Martin Luther King and Maya Angelou and how folks like them are just really inspirational to me and how I really resonate with their message and their way of life and the teachings that they bring to this world and how they go first with love and they lead with love, but also in a very disruptive way, for the better, right? For the better, for the healthier, for the good of humankind. And that's really important to me. That's exactly what I want to reflect in my life in small ways and big ways, whatever ways that may be, as mom, as psychotherapist, as professional, as wife, as mentor, as author, as however I show up. Those things are really important to me to reflect that and how I show up in all the different aspects of my life. And so I was thinking about revolution, right? The word revolution, the word revolutionary, and how one of the things that has been hard for me in the past was really not wanting to upset people, not wanting to disappoint people, not wanting to create a confrontation. You could call that people pleasing, right? That was something that happened for me in the past often, and it was a deterrent for me because I wanted to help people. I wanted to help them feel better. I didn't want to feel like I was making them feel worse. I wanted to solve rather than create conflict. But the truth is, what I've learned over the past several years is that in order to really lean in to creating revolutionary change, which means like really getting to the roots of things that need shifting, right? Fundamentally addressing what needs to be shifted, whether it's in a system within your family or a system within our society or whatever the case may be, then we have to be willing, able, and expecting to navigate revolt, right? Because revolt is literally it's the root word in the word revolution, revolt, right? And there are going to be folks that are going to revolt when we have revolutionary ideas, when we want to fundamentally come in to systems, even though the systems are broken or are in need of upgrading or changing. There's still people that are going to revolt because we are wanting to go against the grain. We are disturbing their familiarity. We are disturbing their comfort. And this goes across the board when I talk about systems, when I talk about relationships, right? If you're in a marriage with someone who is used to treating you in a way that's just not healthy, they may or may not realize that's what's going on. But when you start to change your standards around that, they're going to revolt in some way, not necessarily because they don't want to treat you better, but because this is disrupting their familiar, right? A precedence has been set in the relationship and it's being disrupted. It's foreign to them. It's change, and that can be so scary. It's scary for anyone, but especially in the system we've set up, it's scary for men to feel threatened in that way. If it is, a social system, I've been dealing with racial issues, in particular with my daughter for sure, my oldest, a lot recently, and we've dealt with them before, of course, but they've definitely been on my mind because they've been coming up a lot as we've moved into this new area where there's not as much diversity. And so our systems need to be updated. That means that there's going to be challenges there. And I have to be willing, able, accepting, and expecting that there's going to be some pushback. There's going to be some revolt, right? Now, how I handle it, that is key. That is what matters. It's not trying to avoid any revolt from ever happening, right? Because if we do that, which I have in the past, then we're actually not moving forward towards the reform, towards the revolution that we're wanting to see us be a part of, that we're wanting to see happen in a positive progression. So let's just expect that revolt's going to happen when we want to help shift, change, or make impact in systems at a micro level in our families or at a macro level in social systems. We have to expect that there will be some revolt, right? And shaming and blaming the people that are revolting is not helpful. It just puts the guard up, right? It just makes it more stressful, and it creates a bigger gap between you and them, between me and them. And if we do that, we create a bigger gap. Now we're really filling ourselves with frustration, anger, bitterness, and separation, which is going to create more unnecessary conflict. And it's going to move us away from moving towards the solution that we want to create, right? That we want to be a part of. And so that's just been on my mind a lot lately. It's so relevant, and I'd be so interested to hear what comes up for you around it, because it's something that's really important for us to be aware of. If we really want to enact powerful, positive change, even within ourselves, right? Like if there's some kind of pattern you have going on that's like not healthy and you want to call it out, expect a revolt within yourself, right? Expect parts of yourself that are like, no, this is familiar. No, this is my comfort, right? Even though we know that it's not healthy, maybe it's a relationship with food or whatever the case may be, there's going to be some level of revolt when there is fundamental change that we are wanting to create in our lives, in our systems, in our relationships. Let's expect that, not as a level of like, oh, like that's just going to happen and we just need to be okay with that and let's just let that be. And I'm not saying expect it and just kind of acquiesce to it being there, but I'm saying let's not make it a bad or wrong thing, that's just part of the process, because it's going to be a part of the process. So let's figure out how to handle that in a way of integrity, right? In a way that's not going to lead us to have bitterness in our lives and not going to lead us to lead with bitterness in our hearts or in our families or in our society. So this is something that I'm continuing to sit with and I'm continuing to think on and to feel into. And it's something that I have felt challenged with in the past, and it's something that I'm feeling come up again for me to meet at a different level with where I'm at right now, especially as someone who really wants to continue to share my own learnings as a psychotherapist, as a mom, as someone that has worked with children and families and adults and a variety of different mental health challenges and in different systems. And I want to continue to share with the world my learnings and my wisdom and my love. And so I want to continue to grow in this area of expecting that revolt is just kind of part of the process. And I don't need to make it bad or wrong. I don't need to try to dance around it or avoid it or beat around the bush. I can continue to see it, call it out for what it is, and choose to navigate it in a way that feels like integrity to me. And we all have that choice, right? And so I'm so grateful that I have been practicing that for sure at a micro level. And that has been preparing me to practice that at a macro level as I move forward, both personally and professionally, with some of the things that I have going on in the background that are just incredibly, what's the word? To me, they're so important, not just for me or my family, but for the world. They're just those kind of topics, right? And so I want to be a part of that positive change moving forward, and I have been a part of that positive change in the past, and I want to continue to do that. So I want to do that in a way that's growing me and challenging me to extend beyond the walls that I've been doing that within. So this has been a really exciting time, and I'm challenging myself to go further and further and further. And I'm excited for that, and I'm grateful for that. And I feel like my family is more prepared for that now too than ever before. Don't get me wrong, there will still be bumps, I'm sure, and there's still areas for us all to continue to grow in, but I'm really excited. So if there's anything that comes up for you all around this, I would love to hear it. Around the word revolution, revolutionary, around revolt, and all of that change process as we, choose to and try to and strive to move forward with integrity towards a world that's healthier, towards a world that's more healed, towards a world that's more connected, towards relationships in our families, with our partners, with our other family members, with our children that are more healed, that are more connected, that are more healthy, that are safe, right? Like those are the things that are so important to me. And those are the conversations I think we're not having enough of in a really, really authentic, true, genuine, and safe way. So I want us to have more of those conversations. And that means me needing to have had the past several years that have challenged me to really grow in the areas where I didn't feel safe having confrontation or having difficult conversations in certain relationships, in even and with trauma, like really my body didn't feel safe. It wasn't just my mind, like my mind, my body, like I did not feel safe, and for good reason. But I needed to be able to notice that and to work with that so I could heal that, process that, so I can move through that in a way that not just strengthens me but also allows me to be a support to others that are navigating that too. So super grateful for that. And there's just so much good in all that I just said, but even if just in today that I'm thinking of, I had so much good in feeling connected to my family and feeling like we are just in a really good groove right now. Now, my kids, there's still so much sickness this season, right? One of my kids is sick again. And my heart feels for them because they just keep getting sick. But even in that, getting to be there with them, hold them, care for them, and also be with my other children and be present with them. It's really important to me that I'm doing that for them, with them, and through our relationship. So that's all really good stuff too. So I have a lot, right? Like I could keep going on and on and on, but I have a lot to be thankful for, and I have a lot that I feel like is going well. And I also have a lot of areas I want to challenge myself in so I can continue to grow. And I would love to hear from all of you what's coming up for you. If there's areas where you're feeling challenged or where you want to continue to grow, or if you have any goods or gratitudes. So thanks for hanging out around this vlog series that I've got going on. I'm going to continue to challenge myself and hold myself accountable to show up and see what happens.